Hi, welcome back to another vlog style episode from me here in the workshop. I've been working a lot on this chronometer, as you know, and the last episode of the escape wheel being cut was a great success. So thank you very much for watching, and you can continue to get episodes like that by clicking subscribe, which is sort of down here somewhere. And then you'll never miss an episode when I put one out, so I'd really appreciate that. This week is a little bit more of a vlog style, as I just said. I'll just show you a couple of the things that are ongoing on the chronometer. I'm working my way through the detent, and that's a tricky process. It's probably one of the more difficult parts to make in a chronometer, so I'm just working my way through that at the moment. I'm probably going to be in London for the Worshipful Company of Clockmakers livery dinner, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing some old friends at the dinner. So here's the chronometer, and we're getting well along the way now. There's not too much work left to do. I've done the basic sort of overhaul work is all done. I've repaired the train wheel, which will be a video shortly showing the process of fitting this train wheel with a ring gear. So I'm not sure if I've mentioned that before or not, but the teeth were damaged on it, so I actually, oh dear, come on, focus, there we go. So I actually replaced the teeth by turning them all off and fitting a ring and then recutting the teeth. So that saved the wheel and meant I didn't even have to take it off the pinion. So that was that. There is a video coming up for that. So the escape wheel that was in the video last week is fitted in here, as you can see. And I've got the balance staff because I'm using the balance staff and the escape wheel to get my dimensions for the detent. Now the detent had, this is what was here before, so it had a really poor repair. Well, I call it a repair. I mean it's a bodge really. The base of this part is called the potence, and this is what the detent screws to. The base of this, which is the bit being held in my tweezers, is probably the original, but the rest of it here, which has got the adjustment screw for the depthing of the detent locking jewel, that is all a replacement in, and it doesn't work very well because the fitting of the detent with a screw, it's not adjustable. So that's something that somebody's done at a later date when they've been repairing, inverted commas, the detent. Now the original detent, or what's left of it, is here. So the focus is not easy to do actually, but there we go, it's picking it up now. The this is what's left of the original detent, and you can see there's been a break at the end here. Well, I think this whole block at the end is something that somebody's sort of filed up and soft soldered on at a later date, but everything forward of that I think is what's left of the original. So this obviously is not usable, but I think it would have originally had a dovetail style of detent, because Barrowed did use that system quite a lot. So this is a replacement potence that I'm part way through making, and you can see here this is the dovetail section here. Come on, focus. There we go. Dovetail, you can see there, and you can see the corresponding screw that makes up the other side of the dovetail. So when the detent is in there and the screw is tightened up, it clamps the detent in. So there will be an adjusting screw here for the depth. There will be another adjustment screw here, which will have an offset pin, and that'll be for adjusting the depth of the detent as it engages with the balance staff, with the jewel and the balance staff. So that's the progress so far on the potence. This was all made out of one piece of cast brass, hammer hardened and then machined and filed by hand. Obviously the milling machine to rough it out, and then hand filing to shape. So that's progressing nicely. The detent is here. This is the progress so far. Now it doesn't look like much at the moment, but there's already a considerable amount of work in this. Now you can see at the end here, here's the dovetail section. Come on, focus. Dovetail section is there. Okay, that's better. So now you can see the dovetail section there. And then I'm working my way along, roughing it out. So one of the twitchier moments is drilling the hole for the locking jewel, which is done. And you can also see the horn, I think it's called, which is the part that will actually, it doesn't actually touch the jewel itself, this part. It's actually the gold passing spring that will unlock against the side of this horn. So the gold passing spring will be on this back side here and go along the top here and just protrude a little bit further than this, so it unlocks this, but then on the return it'll flick back the other way. I'm sure you're familiar with the action of the escapement. So what I'm up to now is I'm just making some filing buttons that I'm going to super glue into here, and that will mean that I can file the round for the locking jewel. Let me just show you one of those. So they're just turned up out of some blued pivot steel actually, which should be plenty hard enough. And they are going to fit into here, super glued in, one in each side. And then they're filing guides, so I can file up to them, and that should leave me with a nice round boss that looks nice for the surrounds the passing jewel and keeps the weight down. So obviously there's a lot of material to remove from this yet, because we've got to get down to the spring down here, and this is going to be about a third of the thickness of this, if not less. So still plenty of work to do, but I'm working my way along with it. So you can see here the some of the components of the chronometer that I've been working on. As I said, the wheel that I've repaired. This is the old potence. The balance is now disassembled because I wanted the balance staff out with access to be able to see what I was doing. So I've taken the balance apart. I've actually got to make a new balance staff because the pivots are in pretty poor shape on both ends. And I don't think, I have been looking into whether or not it's going to be viable to repivot, but I think, to be honest, I'm going to opt for replacing the balance staff, but I'll retain the original brass boss. So it's just the steel section of the balance staff that I'm going to be replacing. The arrow wheel for the motion work and the up-down work here for the state of wind indicator, they've both been replaced in the past. And these are the cutters. I'm actually going to make new ones of those because they're just really rather nasty. They're not being made very well, and so I'm going to make some new ones that are more in keeping with the rest of it. I mean, we've come this far, so much work gone into it already. That's the original escape wheel, and this is a spare escape wheel that I cut multiple on the same holder while I was at it. So I've got a spare escape wheel. Not that I should need it, hopefully, but for the future, you know, it is a 2-day. It's a fairly standard size actually for a 2-day escape wheel. So I may be using that on a future project. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry this is a sort of a short vlog style one. That's partly because I'm preparing for my trip down to London, and I'm also working hard. I've got a deadline for this chronometer to be finished, so I'm working hard on getting this finished at the moment. So so time for filming is a little bit thin on the ground. but I wanted to update you on the progress, and hopefully you've enjoyed just seeing what I'm up to. And as I say, an upcoming video very shortly will be the repair to the wheel that I did the ring gear on that I mentioned before, and also I've got another part of the antique clock full job restoration series will be ready again shortly, so we've got that to look forward to. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.